You know what makes video games fun? Likeable characters, good gameplay, banging music, awesome visuals, great stories, etc. Well, I think that's what makes No More Heroes one of my favorite franchises of all time, as time and time again I find myself going back to these games and really loving my time with them. No More Heroes has become a cult classic favorite series for a lot of people due to those factors I mentioned before, so much so that people wanted Travis Touchdown Super Smash Bros. As a fighter. And while we didn't get that, we did get a costume so even the Smash devs understand how popular No More Heroes has become. I actually didn't even know about No More Heroes until I saw Some Call Me Johnny's review of the game, and it got me really interested. Rented it for a while, got up to rank 6 before I had to return the game, but this eventually led me to getting a copy for myself in my own change. And needless to say, I fell in love with this series. But I'm not the only one who's going to talk about this series, as I also have Opal Reviews with me. Opal, how were you introduced to No More Heroes?
Thanks, Payday. I first discovered No More Heroes around 2010 through YouTube top 10s around the time, and was immediately enamored by its stylish, tongue-in-cheek, and intensely bloody presentation. I ended up consuming as much of the series as I could secondhand, before eventually convincing my dad to buy it for me. I replayed it incessantly, and would certainly consider it to be a major influence on my interests and tastes today.
No More Heroes was originally released in Japan on December 6, 2007, to unsuccessful sales. Now, the game was heavily praised in Japan, but the game sold miserably in its first 3 months, only selling 40,000 units. But the US release, released on January 22, 2008, sold fast and well, selling 208,000 in just a few months.
Directed by Goichi Suda, known professionally as Suda51, developed by Grasshopper Manufacturer, and published by Ubisoft, this game has received a massive cult following, and today we're going to give a review on No More Heroes 1, mainly the Switch port re-releases in 2021, which contains cleaner visuals and faster loading times. Without further ado, let's begin.
Our story starts in the city of San Destroy, California, as we hear the monologue of Travis Touchdown, our main hero. Travis explains that he met a woman in a bar when he was broke and jobless, likely spending his money on anime, as Travis is a massive otaku, and the woman gives him a job as an assassin for hire. The woman, Sylvia Crystal, who's the head of the United Assassins Association, tells Travis to hunt down a man known as the Drifter. After killing him, Travis has earned rank 11 in the UAA. Sylvia tells Travis that if he wants to be the best, he needs to kill the other 10 below him, which is where we're finally thrust into the first bits of gameplay, as you bust through the gates of a large mansion and fucking decapitate a few suited thugs.
It's here that we learn the controls. We're going to be explaining the Switch port controls, since that's probably the version of the game most people are going to be playing these days. You use the A button to perform an attack, aiming the Joy-Con up or down to perform high or low attacks, and holding the A button down to perform a charge slash, which consumes more battery at the cost of a higher damaging attack. After doing enough damage, an arrow will show the direction you need to swing the Joy-Con to perform a finishing blow on an enemy. The B button is used to punch or stun an enemy, and if you press the B button again on the stunned enemy, you can throw them using a wrestling move for high damage. The meter on the left shows your battery gauge, which depletes when blocking attacks. Holding the L button and literally jerking off the controller, you can recharge the battery. This does leave you vulnerable to attacks, however. And lastly, the right stick allows Travis to dodge attacks. Hitting the stick at the right time of an attack will allow Travis to slow down time and wail on enemies.
The tiger at the top only activates during what's called Dark Side mode. After killing enemies, a slot reel will roll, and depending on the combination, you can get different effects. Strawberry on the Shortcake, aligned by rolling 3 grasshoppers, allows Travis to run faster and deal extremely fast attacks as well as play death blows. Blueberry Cheese Brownie, aligned by rolling 3 bells, allows Travis to fire a long-range projectile that instantly kills anything it hits. Cranberry Chocolate Sundae, obtained by getting 3 bars, makes Travis only walk but enemies will be petrified. Walking up to an enemy and pressing the right button allows Travis to instantly kill the enemies in front of. Cherry, obtained by getting 3 cherries, will slow down enemies, allowing Travis to hack with ease. But the rarest of them all is Anarchy in the Galaxy, attained by aligning 3 sevens, which causes a pink energy rain to kill all enemies on screen. Obtaining also gets you a money bonus at the end of a ranking spout.
During the stages, you can find boxes or treasure chests that contain health items, battery replenishments, money, or a trading card. The trading cards are merely collectibles, as they don't give you anything for collecting them all, just bragging rights. After going through all of the rooms in a stage and killing all of the enemies, you'll get a call from Sylvia, who 9 out of 10 times just tells Travis he's likely going to die before the ranking fight. After which, you can heal up, rest at a toilet to save your game, and grab a mask sitting nearby, which teaches Travis new wrestling moves. Once you're ready, you'll head inside to fight a boss.
Our rank 10 battle is against Death Metal, an old tattooed British bloke. Travis talks some shit about how the world Death Metal lives in is paradise due to all the wealth, power, and women surrounding him, with Death Metal giving a warning about how Travis's view of paradise isn't exactly right. but Travis wants none of that shit as the two begin to battle.
Death Metal is a really good first boss to sink your teeth into the world of No More Heroes ranked assassins. Death Metal hits fast and can even duplicate himself midway through the fight, but overall not too bad for a first boss. After Travis cuts off his hands, Death Metal passes the title of Holy Sword onto him and tells him to master the way of the assassin before Travis deals the killing blow. Sylvia then comes in, congratulating Travis on his win before telling him that he's essentially stuck in the UAA, with Travis rightfully getting pissed off. As an ultimatum, Travis asks Sylvia that if he gets to the top, he can sleep with her.
These opening moments set in stone the kind of character Travis is. He's brash, hot-headed, and unapologetically horny at the wrong times. He has all the traits of an unlikable protagonist, but yet, there's something about Travis that is so mystifyingly interesting. Part of you wants to see if he eventually humbles out or starts to get a cooler head when it comes to the situation he tends to end up in. Most of the time, though, he's still a stupid idiot with his brain stuck in his dick, but I think that's why Travis becomes such a well-loved protagonist. He's an anti-hero. While he's trying to do what's right by taking these other assassins down, his methods and motives for doing it are so unheroic and selfish that it's almost comical. On top of that, the assassins Travis faces are so fucked in the head that it makes Travis look better by comparison, but we'll get to that.
It's here where we get to explore the open world of Santa Destroy, and it's pretty dull. Areas feel very lifeless and empty. There are a few purposes for it, but for the most part, they only serve to host the clothing shop, the job center, K Entertainment, Thunder Reeves Gym, Beefhead Videos, the ATMs, and Travis's motel. The clothing shop is self-explanatory. You can customize Travis's different clothing items you can buy or find in dumpsters located around the city. Thunder Reeves Gym is where you can raise Travis's strength, health, and extend your beam katana combos through training. Beefhead Videos is a shop where you can buy wrestling DVDs to teach Travis more wrestling moves. The motel lets Travis save, play with his cat, watch videos, play a minigame, change weapons when he gets a new one, change his clothes, or check the map. Also, this is just a little unscripted Teal Opal interjection. You can also open the fridge in Travis's apartment, which is a completely pointless, unnecessary, nothing inclusion to the game, since it doesn't do anything at all. It just wastes time. It's an animation they put effort into for no reason. It shows his health bar for a second, but it doesn't actually do anything since you're always at full health in the open world. It's just weird.
The three most important buildings, however, are the Job Center, K Entertainment, and the ATM. The Job Center allows Travis to take up small jobs to earn some money, such as gathering coconuts, going mine hunting, filling cars with gas, or mowing the fucking lawn! Yeah! Depending on how well you do, you get a cash payout. K Entertainment are essentially assassination missions, such as killing 100 enemies within a time limit, knocking a baseball into a row of enemies, or killing using only wrestling moves, which also give you a payout when completed.
The other important building of interest is the ATM. You see, each ranking fight requires an entry fee in order to compete, with it slowly increasing as you climb each rank. So Travis must acquire the fee, then submit it through an ATM in order to do the next boss fight. Say it with me, folks. Padding!
Rank 9 has us facing Dr. Peace. His stage takes place across Santa Destroy Stadium as we knock baseballs into goons and tear through the stadium to get to him, and when we get there, we're greeted by this majestic singing maestro of a man with a nice golden revolver. His character is rather interesting. He explains the struggles he deals with since his divorce and how he barely spends time with his daughter, and assassination is the only thing bringing him some semblance of life. Too bad we gotta cut him down. The fight against him is rather dull though, as it's just constantly closing space, seeing as he will constantly just fire his revolver. The standoff at the end of the fight is pretty cool though.
With Travis now ranked 9th, he makes his way through Santa Destroy High School to take down his next opponent, Shinobu Jacobs. Shinobu's stage is set through the high school as you deal being set on fire and using extinguishers to put yourself out. Not a bad stage, but we finally get to Shinobu, and on your first playthrough, she can be quite the difficulty spike, considering that she's fast, has an attack that can take a lot of your health if not dodged properly, and is overall just more difficult than everything that's come before her. Once you learn her though, she's a really fun and rewarding fight. This is the only fight in the game where the assassin doesn't die, seeing as Travis spares her. She would go on to become Travis's main ally throughout the rest of the series, but we'll cover that when we get to those games.
Rank 7 next as we head to Bear Hug Studios to face Destroy Man. Destroy Man is one of my favorite characters in the game, as he really embodies just how fucked in the head these guys are. Seeing as Destroy Man goes from this nice enough postal man to a psychopathic and twisted supervillain with a laser dick. Destroy Man's fight is pretty different, seeing as he relies on both physical and range attacks, on top of using the arena's traps to his advantage. and considering the way he dies with his gun nipples out is amazing in every way.
Next up, rank 6. We make our way to Body Slam Beach as we fight through soldiers and minefields to reach Holly Summers. Holly is definitely one of the best written assassins in the series, as she's wise, mature, and really tests Travis's morality about what he's done and what it takes to press onward. Her fight, on the other hand, isn't that fun, seeing as she sets holes across the arena that require button mashing to escape, and she sends a barrage of missiles to keep her distance. A well-written character, but a rather annoying fight.
Before we move on to the next rank, let's talk about 2 more things you can find in the overworld. On the overworld, you can find these glowing spheres called lava cov balls. Getting 7 of these and returning them to the man at the bar behind Thunder Ryu's will reward Travis with extra abilities, such as a dash on the overworld, or extended time in dark mode, or even added combat abilities like a jumping slash, or extension to your grab range. It's a hassle finding them naturally, so don't blame you if you use a guide to find them.
The other thing is Naomi's lab. After hitting certain ranks, Travis can upgrade his beam katana to stronger models and add accessories that include things like a treasure finder, or even an upgrade to give you near infinite battery life, but good luck getting it as it takes almost a million LBs to even get it. Buying all beam katanas is the only thing required to do the secret boss at the end of the game, thankfully, but we'll get to that later.
Alright, next up is Let's Shake. Never mind. It's here where we're introduced to Henry Cooldown, or as Travis will refer to him, Mr. Sir Henry Motherfucker. However, before he and Travis can clash, he gets interrupted by Sylvia, who tells him he's moved up a rank regardless of who killed Let's Shake. So, we went through that whole level for nothing.
On to rank 4, Harvey Moisowicz Wolodarski, a magician who uses his tricks to kill people. A really interesting concept that's not really interesting in execution, seeing as he really relies on easily telegraphed attacks, a screen flip which he uses a lot, and an extremely easy to break insta-kill attack, so needless to say, Harvey is kind of a letdown. He does, however, grant us with a brutal death and a somehow hilarious cutscene because of the line delivery.
It's a good name, don't you think?
It's a fine name indeed. You have your parents to thank for that.
My parents are dead.
Rank 3 is against Speedbuster, who easily has the worst fight in the game, seeing as you have to slog your way through essentially a mini-level and using the environment to take her out of commission. Her weapon is pretty interesting, being a shopping cart that turns into a giant laser cannon that sadly murders Thunder Ryu, and her fight theme is one of my personal favorites in the game, but not my favorite as it actually belongs to the next entrance.
Rank 2, Bad Girl, one of the most popular characters in the franchise and a mainstay in the series since Travis Strikes Again, and honestly your character and fights are good reasons as to why for that. She's a sick and twisted alcoholic psychopath who beats the shit out of Gimps with a baseball bat while wearing a princess dress. Her fight is also one of the most stressful yet fun in the game, as she not only has an enormous health pool, but also a good amount of attacks to keep you on your toes, including an instant kill attack that can catch first time players off guard. Really fun fight though, and a bumping theme tune to go with it. After this fight, we learn from Sylvia's mother that the UAA was nothing but a scam set up by Sylvia, and that all of the killing Travis has done was pretty much just to line Sylvia's pockets, which rightfully makes him even more irate. But he's come this far, so he needs to finish what he started.
And now after all this journey, we face off against Rank 1, Darkstar.
You're still as gullible as ever, Travis.
I mean Jean, Travis's half-sister, who has such a fucked up backstory that they literally had to speed through it in order to get past the censors. Her fight is insanely close quarters since she can hit hard and can't be grappled, so you have to rely on just pure reflexes and timing to take her down. But we aren't done yet. If you collect all the beam katanas, you have one last battle against one more opponent.
The true final boss of No More Heroes is Sir Henry Motherfucker Cooldown himself. I've said before that this is my favorite fight in the game and one of my favorite fights in any video game period. Henry hits hard and fast and is easily one of the biggest battles of using your knowledge of the mechanics, dodging and slowdown, as well as learning how to telegraph Henry's super cool instant kill attack that makes the fight an extremely rewarding final encounter. And finally, after all that, you get the reveal that Henry is actually Travis's twin brother and Sylvia's husband, which only confuses Travis even more as the two clash in front of the motel's flag. The credits then roll, with this finale being fucking awesome.
So before we close this out, let's talk about visual and sound design, because other than the characters, it's the biggest thing people talk about with the series. The cel-shaded look on the characters really makes them pop out a lot more, and the character designs really help fit their personalities even more. But on top of that, even just the visual flair of this game is extremely engaging. From the 8-bit aesthetic at times to the flashing of the katana when connecting hits, it just makes the appeal of this game even stronger, especially with the great sound design to combine 8-bit sound effects and punchy clashing and swinging sounds to make combat even more impactful. Even the track and whispery voice when selecting your next rank makes the sound design of this game pop more.
Come and get some.
Let's see what you're made of, Kung Fu boy.
Welcome to my castle.
And speaking of sound design, the soundtrack really helps the game as well. The main theme of the game is called NMH and is a really common recurring motif throughout the series that gets remixed several times. Besides that, every rank has their own theme and it helps give each boss more individuality. My favorites being Dr. Peace's theme, Steel Python, Harvey's theme, Bioelectrolysis, and Henry's theme, We Are Finally Cowboys, which both has one of the best tunes and one of the best names of any song in any video game I've ever listened to.
For myself personally, I got a kick out of Holly's theme, Samurai Summer, Speedbuster's theme, Mach 13 Elephant Explosion, and Bad Girl's theme especially, titled Pleather for Breakfast.
No More Heroes is still a fantastic game despite what it did wrong. While the open world of Santa Destroy is bland and the game itself is overridden with padding to lengthen itself, it's still a fun time full of great characters, fun gameplay, hilarious writing, endless style, and jamming tunes, and it's honestly no wonder why it got so popular outside of Japan.
No More Heroes in 2010 received a sequel, No More Heroes 2 Desperate Struggle, and with that game there were things it did better as well as worse than the original. But we'll see that next time. I'm Payday,
I'm Opal Reviews Everything.
and we'll see you guys next time.